Greetings, Algo artisans. Was the Bitcoin ETF pump a bull trap?
We may be trapped.
Maybe, maybe not. In fact, today's video is entitled Bitcoin Crash Before Having to 20K. Maybe, maybe not. We're going to talk about that right now. But before we do, please like, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell, follow on X. All that helps us get more content out to you. Okay, we have an article here. Bitcoin ETF lows show negative trend for first time since launch. And what they get into from a detailed perspective is that GBTC is selling off a lot of their holdings. And we've talked about this in prior videos, but a lot of people were redeeming because they wanted to grab that premium to NAV. They wanted to get that extra money they made as GBTC holders. And every time people are selling GBTC, Grayscale has to go ahead and sell their Bitcoin, which may be putting pressure on markets. And they have gone down from 650,000 down to, down from 663. Let's say that again. Down from about 660,000 to roughly 650,000. So they've sold off about 11,000 tokens. And that's to be expected. Also, Grayscale's fees are a little bit higher than the competition right now. So people might be moving over just to save on those fees. Now, if you take a look at BlackRock's IBIT and Fidelity's FBTC, they are leading the way with each now holding more than 40,000 Bitcoin as of January 24th versus the 20 to 25,000 for each one a week ago. Both are also closing in on 2 billion in assets under management. Now, they don't really show any outflows right now, but their inflows are slowing. And that might make some sense. There might be a lot of reasons for this. Just because inflows are slowing does not mean that they don't want more Bitcoin, or it doesn't mean anything like that. It may just be that their analysts are seeing perhaps a drop in Bitcoin price. It may be that they have gotten as much as they need right now to handle the demand. It might be a lot of different things. It might be that they just can't get the Bitcoin at the price they like right now, so they're going to hold off. Whatever it means, though, is that in the end, Bitcoin is still flowing to these funds. It's just flowing a little bit more slowly, right? So that being the case, there is an analyst who has, well, I don't want to say it's a unique view. It's a view that I share to a certain degree. But Chris Berniski, hope I said his name right there, says that Bitcoin could fall back to the mid 20,000 area. Okay, now that's not necessarily going to happen. Future is uncertain, and remember that nothing we say on here is to be used or construed as investment advice. Please do your own research. Talk to a licensed investment advisor before risking your money on the markets, because you can lose your money. It's very possible. However, what he's saying is that he thinks the local bottom for Bitcoin has yet to be hit, okay? And he's a partner at venture capital firm Placeholder, former crypto lead at ArcInvest. And he sees the price dropping to at least 30,000 to 36,000 range, and would be surprised if the mid to high 20,000 area were tested prior to an eventual move towards a new all-time high. So that is a little bit different than Bitcoin falling to 20,000, okay? What he means is that that area might briefly see Bitcoin's price go down to that area. So we'll take a look at what that looks like on the charts, but I do agree with what he says here. As always, patience is your friend. The path to get there will be volatile, except fakeouts, and will take months to play out. That being the case, we can go ahead and take a look at the charts and see what that might look like. I do have data right now already pulled off the Kingfisher, but we'll take a look at it on the Kingfisher momentarily. Now, what you're looking at on Bitcoin is a daily chart, okay? So each of these candles is 1 day's worth of price action. So what I do want to do is actually want to take a look at the weekly chart. We're going to take a look at 5 days per candle here, okay? And that's going to give us just a broader view. And Bitcoin went ahead and pumped all the way up to the top here, right? And this was the ETF pump. And then there was the sell-off that I did predict, right? So anybody watching the channel would have seen me predict that was going to happen. And it's certainly short term, I was correct. Now, I personally am bullish for Bitcoin. I do see some potential for price to fall to these areas, though. And the areas that I'm looking at are based on the Kingfisher's liquidity as well as prior price action. If you see here, price came up on the way up. It came through this 35,500 to the 38,400 range, and it bounced around there for a good month, maybe a little bit more before it moved up. So price created basically this zone, right? And it's going to be treated, or even will be, defined as a liquidity zone. On the way down, price may stop there to grab liquidity, and as a matter of fact, the Kingfisher, we'll take a look at it right now, shows that the futures exchanges do have liquidity in that area. So I did grab a liquidity map on the Kingfisher here, and you can see down in this area where the cursor is, there's a lot of liquidity sitting between 35 and 36,000, and a fair amount actually at 34, and then a big spike at 32,600, 32,500. So 32.5 has a massive spike of liquidity. So I did go ahead and map that out. You have between 35 and 36 in this red box right here, and then you have this a lot of liquidity right where this blue line is. And I do think price may head up a little bit more, grab the top of this range, maybe not. It may just simply go down. And there's a little bit of liquidity sitting at 40,000, hence this blue line right there. It'll probably grab that. It might bounce around. This line that I drew is more of a simplistic version. It can bounce around, but generally follow this line, right? This up and down. But I do expect liquidity to get grabbed right out of this 5 to 36, and then I do expect price to make its way down 32,000. Now it could certainly go lower. It could certainly test this 20,000 range. Maybe people are panic selling. That does happen a lot with Bitcoin. Bitcoin kind of runs down, and then it may just spend a very brief time grabbing liquidity, getting people to panic sell so that the smart money can use that entry liquidity to buy. So everybody's selling right here, right? If you're like a big player and you want to put a lot of money into anything, you need people to sell. Otherwise, when you buy it, price will go up. But if you want to grab a lot of something and everybody is selling, then price won't go up as you're buying it, right? So that's how that works. If you get people to panic sell just a little bit in this 20,000 range area, then they'll be able to get the entries they want. And then of course, price will most likely head up after that. Now the timeline on here might be skewed. It might not happen this quickly. In fact, it might not happen until after the halving. Usually after the halving, which is supposed to be in April, right? So we'll put a little line right here. Usually the price does fall after the halving. So people get really, really excited about the halving and they, start buying Bitcoin. The halving's coming, it's going to go up. And it's true to a degree, but usually price falls a bit after the halving. So, this entire thing that I drew might be skewed out to the future. It might not happen in 2 or 3 months. It might take 4 or 5, but I do expect Bitcoin to go up. And it's also possible that price might not be allowed to go below this range. It might not be allowed to go below this 35 or, it's extremely possible. The entire market is very bullish on Bitcoin right now. So anything's possible, but these liquidity zones are clues as to where price can go. So if the charts favor a move down and this liquidity is right there, then I would be definitely interested in this zone as either a target or perhaps a place to buy. And again, if the charts favor a move up, then I probably wouldn't be looking at lower liquidity. I'd be looking at liquidity to the top side. So the charts do, in my backtesting, have to favor a move in the direction of liquidity. But once we see that favor, then we can use this liquidity, especially on the Kingfisher website, to kind of predict where price is going. There is a referral code in the description for the Kingfisher, and if you use that, I believe you get a discount. So the Kingfisher is really a great resource for people trading Bitcoin. Okay, well, that's all we got for today. I hope it's helpful. If you go ahead and visit us over at www.algofactory.tech, we can show you how all this is done. And it might seem complex, but it's actually very simple, this kind of analysis. It's not that hard to do, and we will definitely show you and teach you how we do this. So go ahead, come on over, trade in your job, upgrade your life. See you over there. All right, hope you enjoyed the show. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. On the screen there, you can see our website, algofactory.tech. Tap that QR code to take you straight there. I'm also very active on X. That's algo_factory777. We got TikTok and Rumble. In the meantime, we hope to see you over at the website. Come on over, trade your job, upgrade your life. We'll see you there.